The film begins with a worried mother named Melinda putting her son to sleep. She closes the door to prevent him from gaining access to the gadgets. She browses the internet and reads about a dangerous internet challenge, which makes her even more concerned. The innocent boy sneaks out through the window because he is extremely anxious. He notices a tall monster outside and grabs a knife from the kitchen. When he notices the frightening monster approaching him, he flees to Melinda's room. As the monster approaches, he stabs his worried mother. In the following scene, an aspiring vlogger named Asha is making a vlog about how to cope with anxiety by listening to relaxing music. She uploads the video but appears to be extremely nervous afterward. Her parents then call her as they prepare to leave to watch her brother, Ramkin, play the saxophone. The family appears to have a routine in which they go on a no-phone family outing once a week. The father explains that they must do this in order to avoid phone addiction. A parent other than Asha's father receives a local news notification and informs him that there is an internet challenge going on that instructs the kids to cut themselves or harm others. The parent is also informed about Melinda's son, who stabs his mother. Asha's father wonders why the kids will go along with it. The parent explains that children will do anything to follow a trend. The news is also shared with the other parents at the school. As a result, Asha's father and the other parents begin to be concerned about their children's safety in the face of technology. The parents in their town are enraged by the news. Asha steps outside to speak with a friend. Asha checks the status of the newly uploaded video using her friend's phone. Asha is discouraged when she discovers that it has only a few views. A person named Cassidy also left a wow emoji comment. Asha is overjoyed with the good news. Her friend, on the other hand, claims that Cassidy's emoji comment implies a mean wow. Asha and her family eventually return home. Her parents are scrolling through their phone when a frightening internet meme known as Grimcuddy appears on their screen. Grimcuddy appears to be the monster who previously attacked Melinda's son. They learn more about the Grimcuddy, which is said to be a challenge for the kids to hurt themselves or others. After reading this, the couple becomes extremely concerned about Asha and Ramkin's safety. This prompts them to warn their children about it in order to keep them from becoming victims. But Asha is irritated by this idea and insists that they will not participate in a stupid internet challenge for attention. That night, Asha scrolls through a feed in which a group of children receives scathing advice from their parents. She then inquires of her friend, who, like her parents, receives the Grimcuddy warning. The couple is in their room when they hear about two kids who have just cut themselves. This makes them even more concerned. The Grimcuddy appears to Asha, who is making toast and listening to a meditation on her phone, while they are worried upstairs. She screams in terror as she sees the Grimcuddy man approaching her. Her father checks on her right away, and the grimace vanishes. They summon the cop, who eventually interrogates Asha. The cop allows her to describe what she saw, which matches the Grimcuddy's internet photo. The officer then reveals that they received numerous calls from children who claim to have seen the Grimcuddy. Following that, he privately informs Asha's father that the kids may be fabricating the Grimcuddy story. He believes that their claims of seeing Grimcuddy are part of the challenge. Asha overhears the conversation and tries to contact her friend. Her phone and laptop, however, are confiscated by her father in order to prevent her from participating in the challenge. The following day, the couple instructs Asha and Ramkin to place their devices in a detox box. They explain to Asha that, in the meantime, they must limit their screen time in order to avoid the negative effects of technology. Ramkin willingly gives up his devices, but Asha suspects her parents are only doing so because they believe in the Grimcuddy challenge. Asha tries to take her phone, but her father yanks it back. During the commotion, the Grimcuddy appears to Asha, scaring the shite out of her. Asha sneaks into Ramkin's room that night to borrow her hidden backup laptop. She goes online with the laptop and discovers that the majority of the children are unable to access their devices. Parents in the town apparently confiscated the devices out of fear of the Grimcuddy challenge. She then asks on social media if anyone still has their phone. Her father abruptly disconnects their home's internet connection. This forces Asha to stealthily remove her phone from the detox box. Cassidy responds to her post as she opens her phone. Cassidy dials her number, and she answers. Cassidy reveals that her parents have yet to seize her phone. When the couple returns downstairs, Asha has taken her phone from the box. They then frantically search their house for her. On the other hand, Asha tells Cassidy that she has actually seen the Grimcuddy. Another girl joins their call and informs them that the majority of the parents in town prevent their children from attending school. Cassidy's parents want to talk to her about the grueling challenge. Cassidy tells Asha that she must attend school tomorrow, no matter what. Meanwhile, the father becomes concerned because he cannot locate Asha in their home. The Grimcutty appears out of nowhere and approaches Asha, who is currently hiding in the garage. She rushes to the restroom, and their grimace slashes her arm. She cuts the Grimcutty's back with a knife. The parents find her hilarious, while the grimace vanishes. They believe she cuts herself on purpose. Knowing her parents will not believe the Grimcutty cut her, Asha tries to convince them that the cut was an accident. She then tries to persuade her parents to let her go to school the next day. Asha goes to school the next day and meets Cassidy. Cassidy reveals that her parents took her phone and placed it in a detox box. In the meantime, her parents used the same phrase to limit their screen time. So Asha and Cassidy deduce that their parents were possibly brainwashed by the same article. They go to a friend who still has internet access to figure it out. Because his friend's parents are away, he is free to do whatever he wants. When they arrive, the friend is having a party at his home. The partygoers film and upload a video in which they pretend to be controlled by the Grimcutty. Following that, Cassidy and Asha searched the term detox box on the internet and discovered Melinda's blog. The blog turns out to be about parenting. According to Melinda's blogs, technology has a negative impact on children. They discover the phrases detox box and cut the screen time in the meantime there. Surprisingly, the photo of the Grimcutty appears in a blog article. However, the article is no longer accessible. Asha believes Melinda's blog is related to the Grimcutty, and she wishes to locate her address. Cassidy, on the other hand, is hesitant to accompany her because she thinks it's ridiculous to go to Melinda's house. Asha asks if they're cool before Cassidy leaves because she previously left a wow comment on Asha's video. Cassidy tells Asha at this point that she overthinks too much in real life, which contradicts her vlogs. She tells Asha that a true Zen person has inner peace in all circumstances. Meanwhile, the couple begins looking for Asha after learning that she is not at school. The mother searches the internet and finds the video from the party. She notices Asha behind the partygoers, who are pretending to be under the control of the Grimcutty. They start to panic because they believe the partygoers are members of the Grimcutty cult. Back at the party, Asha is unable to locate Melinda's address and seeks assistance from Ramkin via Skype video. Ramkin immediately warns her that their parents are on their way to pick her up. He also believes that their parents are unconcerned about him because he has never seen the Grimcutty. Ramkin is hesitant to assist her because even a single search could be detected by the software installed by their father. But, in the end, Asha is able to persuade him. Asha then claims that Melinda is to blame for the grimacing. She then notices the grimace approaching and immediately walks away. She tries to flee the house, but the Grimcutty stops her and pursues her. She appears to be the only one who can see it, as it appears to be invisible to the other partygoers. She is eventually apprehended by the Grimcutty. It pulls out a knife to sever her legs. In response, she grabs a knife and cuts the Grimcutty's back, causing it to flee. She walks away, and the Grimcutty grabs her once more. This time, it cuts her in the arm, causing her to scream in agony. When her parents arrive at the house, they hear her screaming. They immediately rescue her, and the Grimcutty vanishes. They return her to the car. Ramkin's father discovers that he is using the internet in their home. He drives the car back to their house right away because he is concerned about his son. Meanwhile, Ramkin locates Melinda's address. He tries to relay the information to Asha, but he can no longer reach her. The Grimcutty appears suddenly behind him and begins to choke him. When the three return home, they discover Ramkin unconscious on the floor. Ramkin, thankfully, is still alive. Asha and Ramkin wake up in the hospital the next day. There, the mother consults with a psychiatrist about Asha's mental state. Asha opens Ramkin's laptop after her mother has left and finds Melinda's address. She then quickly slips out of her room. As she walks out of the hospital, she discovers that Cassidy has also been admitted. She speaks with Cassidy, and it turns out that the Grimcutty victimizes Cassidy after her parents freak out. When their parents start to worry about them, Asha realizes that the Grimcutty is attacking them. Asha then drives toward Melinda's house. Meanwhile, the mother learns that Asha is going there and drives there. Asha eventually makes her way to Melinda's house. She asks Melinda nicely about the deleted Grimcutty article and why her son stabbed Melinda. Melinda dismissed her questions, claiming that the stabbing was an accident. Melinda then asks her to leave. However, Asha suspects Melinda is concealing something. So she infiltrates Melinda's home. She discovers her son is imprisoned inside an enclosed room. He is now starving and instructs her to lock him back in the room because he cannot make his mother worry about him. Melinda appears with a shotgun and orders Asha to leave. The mother arrives in a few moments to pick up Asha. Asha attempts to persuade her mother that Melinda locked her son in the room. She also tells her that her parents' panic is feeding the Grimcutty. The mother initially does not believe Asha, but she soon realizes that she is overreacting. She then believes Asha and returns to Melinda's house to confront her. She wonders if Melinda made up the grimace. However, Melinda claims that her son saw it online and is now tempted to cut himself. Melinda insists on doing everything possible to avoid thinking about the Grimcutty. Melinda is concerned about her son at this point, and as a result of her concern, the Grimcutty attacks him. She becomes enraged and tries to shoot Asha and her mother. In response, Asha's mother pushes her to the ground, briefly knocking her unconscious, and the Grimcutty vanishes. She quickly stands up and attempts to shoot them again. Her son, however, stabs her in the legs, causing her to fall down the stairs. As a result of his weakened state, the son falls unconscious. The mother then drives the helpless boy to the hospital so that he can receive proper medical attention. Meanwhile, the father examines Ramkin's laptop and discovers that his son used the darknet market. He becomes enraged as a result. Ramkin explains that he is simply interested in those topics. As his father expresses his rage, the Grimcutty appears behind him. He tells Ramkin to get dressed because they're going somewhere. Meanwhile, Asha learns that Cassidy is in critical condition due to a stab wound in her neck. Asha is aware that the Grimcutty assaulted Cassidy. On the other hand, the mother goes to pick up Ramkin, who tells her that something is wrong with his father. Knowing that the Grimcutty attacks are caused by the parents' anxiety, the mother tries to give him the tranquilizer. But he manages to take it away from her just as the cops arrive to question her. She tells her husband to take the tranquilizer shot before leaving. When Ramkin's father discovers that he has escaped, he panics once more. So the Grimcutty reappears and begins to hunt Ramkin. Fortunately, Asha notices Ramkin fleeing and grabs him. She grabs a scissor, believing she can injure the Grimcutty with it. She exits the room to find her father, and the Grimcutty attacks Ramkin once more. She has now diverted her father's attention. She makes him nervous, so the Grimcutty attacks her instead. When her plan comes true, she flees to confront the Grimcutty. The Grimcutty soon chokes her. She stabs it repeatedly with the knife until it falls to the ground. However, the Grimcutty reawakens and pursues her. She tries to flee until her father finds her. The Grimcutty tries to stab her with the scissor, but her father believes she is committing suicide. He pulls her back, and she pushes the scissors away, stabbing her father instead. She bolts outside, followed by her injured father. He sees her float through the sky as the Grimcutty chokes her. At this point, Asha's father believes she is being attacked by a real Grimcutty. So he calms himself to prevent it from attacking her. The film concludes with Asha discussing how the Grimcutty attack was finally stopped. The parents' hysteria appears to have subsided as they were finally able to communicate with their children. Finally, Asha believes Grimcutty can return because parental hysteria gives it life.